Have you ever wondered if the universe operates on a grand predetermined plan? Or if everything from the smallest grain of sand to the vast cosmos is part of an interconnected whole? Today, we explore the Stoic view of the universe, how they understood determinism, the cosmos, and the fundamental forces that govern reality. So, let's dive right in. When we consider the great questions of philosophy, one of the most profound is, what is the nature of reality? Throughout history, different schools of thought have provided their own answers, but the Stoics offered one of the most comprehensive and structured metaphysical frameworks. For the Stoics, the universe was not a chaotic accident or a collection of unrelated events. Instead, they believed in a single, unified, and rational cosmos, a vast, interconnected system where everything from the smallest grain of sand to the largest celestial body was part of an orderly living organism. This wasn't just an abstract concept for them. It was a deeply spiritual and scientific conviction grounded in their belief in logos, the rational principle that shapes and governs all things. So how did the Stoics explain this grand design? Let's break it down into three foundational ideas that form the core of their metaphysical worldview. The Stoics believed that the cosmos was not merely a collection of physical objects, but a living, breathing entity infused with intelligence and purpose. They saw the universe as a single self-regulating organism, an idea that set them apart from many other ancient schools of thought. According to Stoic cosmology, the universe was created from four basic elements: fire, water, air, and earth. These elements were in constant flux, merging, separating, and recombining in an eternal cycle of creation and destruction. But unlike some Eastern philosophies that view this cycle as purely mechanical, the Stoics believed that this process was guided by a rational and divine force. Interestingly, they did not believe in an external creator deity who fashioned the universe from the outside. Instead, they saw the cosmos itself as divine, alive with an internal self-sustaining force they called Zeus, or more broadly nature, or God. And what was the essence of this divine force? Fire. But not just any fire, pure creative fire that both generates and dissolves all things. At the beginning of time, according to Stoic thought, the universe existed as this pure divine fire. Over time, some of this fire transformed into a cosmic liquid which contained the seeds of all things. This liquid then turned into air, and parts of it condensed into earth, forming the physical world we see today. But even as this process unfolded, the divine fire remained, fueling the ongoing cycle of existence. Eventually, the Stoics believed the universe would burn out, returning to that original state of perfect fire, only to be reborn once again in an endless recurrence. Now, let's dive deeper into one of the most fascinating aspects of Stoic philosophy, logos, and the dual nature of fire. For the Stoics, fire was not just an ordinary physical phenomenon, it was the very essence of rationality and divine intelligence. They associated it with logos, the universal reason or guiding principle that structured and sustained the cosmos. Think of logos as the DNA of reality, an invisible yet omnipresent force that shapes all things according to a rational and purposeful design. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The Stoics saw fire as having two distinct aspects, active and passive. The active fire, this was the generative creative force, the spark that fuels life, change, and transformation. It's the animating principle that gives everything its shape, function, and purpose. The passive fire, on the other hand, was the material world, the substance that is shaped and molded by the active fire. It's like the clay that a potter works with, taking form under the influence of an intelligent force. Together, these two aspects of fire created a delicate balance. The active fire infused meaning and motion into the passive fire, turning the universe into a dynamic, ever-changing reality rather than a static existence. Another crucial part of Stoic cosmology was their belief in the gradation of existence, a hierarchy that ranked all entities based on their level of complexity and rationality. At the lowest level, we have inanimate objects, minerals, and rocks, which simply exist and maintain their structure without any internal movement or growth. Next, we have plants, which possess a vital force that allows them to grow, absorb nutrients, and reproduce, but they remain largely passive in their interactions with the world. Above plants, we find animals, which are more advanced because they can move, perceive their surroundings, and act on their instincts. However, they lack rationality and self-awareness. At the pinnacle of material existence, we have human beings who possess something truly extraordinary, rational thought, logos, allowing us to think, analyze, and make conscious choices. But above all, material entities, there exists a final, transcendent category, divine beings, the perfect expression of logos beyond all physical constraints. Now here's where things get a bit tricky. The Stoics were firm believers in determinism, the idea that every event, action, and decision is the result of a long, unbroken chain of causes, stretching all the way back to the divine fire of Zeus. This means that nothing happens randomly. Every moment is dictated by the intricate laws of fate. In other words, the Stoics believed in a universe where everything unfolds according to a rational, preordained plan. But this raises a big question. If everything is predetermined, do we have free will? Are our choices merely illusions, part of a cosmic script written long before we were born? The Stoics answered this paradox by redefining what freedom truly means. For them, real freedom wasn't about altering fate, but about accepting it with wisdom. They taught that while we cannot control external events, we have full control over our responses to them. This idea became central to their ethics, learning to live in harmony with nature by aligning our will with the greater order of the cosmos. So to sum up, the Stoics envisioned the cosmos as a vast living organism driven by divine fire and governed by logos. They saw existence as structured, rational, and cyclical, with everything unfolding in accordance with a grand deterministic order. But what do you think? Do you agree with the Stoic vision of the universe? Is everything truly preordained? Or do we have the power to shape our own destiny? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.